What's going on? How are you? Pussy magnet. Think of when opposites attract, that's a little bit of magnetism where polars, the south pole of a magnet connecting to the north pole of a magnet, whereas two north poles, they repel each other. Is this where people who are nice and nice, they repel each other? Sort of. Is this where penis is connected into vagina? Sometimes. Because pussy magnet is not always vagina whisperer. And if you've ever been to a Larry Chang video before, you'll know that vagina whisperer isn't always pussy magnet. Sometimes it's a repellent. Sometimes it's a safety mechanism. Sometimes it's a off-ramp. Sometimes it's a safety valve to release the steam, to release the pressure. How much pressure are you under right now? Or are we going to relieve some of that pressure? Because I'm going to tell you, one, what to pay attention to. Delicious. What to pay attention to, how things might work out, where to put your energy. So what we're doing with the coordination of expert pattern recognition is we're simultaneously in a comedy show, simultaneously in a tragedy, which is the doom world that swirls around us. Magnetism, aura, riz. So these things are apparent sometimes on YouTube. Sometimes they're apparent, but sometimes there is no ability to sniff out what is charismatic, which is where riz comes from. What is aura, which is a vibe? What is something that you're attracted to? So instead of being attracted to next shiny object, next shiny object, next shiny object, what if instead of monitoring what we're attracted to by default, what if we became slightly more aware of how we become potentially slightly more attractive, but also slightly self-improved? So there's this viral concept, it's called looks maxing, where people change their bone structure, they change their tongue utilization, they change their hair. Some of it's intimidating. Charlie Jones, welcome, welcome, you Australians. Cheers to Australian people. How are you? Hey, speaking of looks maxing, how's my hair doing? How's my hair doing? Do I have morning hair? That's what I said. I said, greetings over there in Australia. Uh-oh. Are you a robot? Let's go. Breast South by Ever. Have you guys heard of Breast Christmas Ever? It's kind of like Best Christmas Ever. It's kind of like Boat, Best of All Time. Breast Christmas Ever is where we augment boobs. Breast Christmas Ever. But since Christmas is right around the corner, we can do Breast Music Festival Ever. So a breast music festival is where boobs are incorporated into the music festival. That would be breast music festival ever. So I'm at a music festival in spirit. And at this music festival, what people do is they do, oh, do you have VIP access to this band that I've never heard of and I kind of don't care about going? 2, pretending to care about a band that kind of won't care about you. 3, meeting people who are actually ascending as artists and then finding out that they're actually super cool people too. So there's literally running the gambit of who knows who you're going to meet at a music festival, which is breast music festival ever. Because I like boobs. Is it bad to admit? Is it bad to admit? Or do you like boobs and then pretend to not like boobs because you're hoping to never think about boobs because you like boobs so much? Do you ever make food while you're doing a fast? Do you ever go grocery shopping when you're starved and on a fast? Do you ever pretend to like butt, but boobs? So that way you're not staring at her boobs the entire date. Or are you so good at not staring at her boobs all date long, all night long, that she begins to wonder if you're even heterosexual? Larry, are you heterosexual? Because you haven't looked at my boobs all night. Are you sure you're heterosexual? Or talking while staring at her boobs. Let me give you an example. Pretend that Hubert is Henrietta. So if Henrietta's talking, I'm not even looking at her eyes anymore. I'm staring directly into her plunging neckline. Oh, why would you even make eye contact when you can get credit for being honest? Just get credit for being honest, which is I'm on the spectrum. I'm also liking boobs. The spectrum of boobs, which is that's why I talk to either the left areola or the right areola. That's funny. Let me explain why that's funny, because sometimes my comedy, it's even funny after I explain it. So some people, when they talk to people, they stare at the area between their eyes. I don't do that because I am not retarded and neurodivergent. So I'll just look. But another technique that people do is they'll look at people's foreheads, or in movies, and once you see it, you'll notice this all the time, which is some people in movies, they stare at the eye line slightly above the eyebrow. It lifts the eyes, which is why when I'm reading content versus staring directly into the lens, it's noticeable, which is why on certain selfies, girls seem cross-eyed. I never seem cross-eyed because I'm not looking into the mirror to get information from the mirror back to me. I'm imprinting onto the mirror what I'd like for the mirror to capture. That's how a picture works. Let me repeat that real quick. Do you like how I repeat comedy so that way you laugh and get better? Because people that practice a speech into a mirror, they're retarded too. You want to practice a speech into a camera lens that doesn't stare back to you. Have you guys been to a Larry Chang YouTube Live where I talk about what they don't teach you in school? And I have the camera flipped where it's not back facing, it's forward facing. So I can't see the screen. I'm on the other side of the smartphone. And the reason that once in a while I'll do it that way is because I want to be able to focus on the lens. I want to be able to focus on pushing the knowledge that's between my ears that I gathered from reading towards the lens. This is how to interact with a mirror. Because when your phone is a mirror, your phone's not so smart. It's really just breaking your brain. Because mirrors are very mystical, retarded tools that will cause you to be lost in the mirror. This is where Snow White's evil antagonist, mirror, mirror on the wall, how did Larry Chang do looks maxing for all? Well, the way I do looks maxing is I don't look into a mirror and say, what's wrong? What can I fix? That's not how you do a mirror. Ditto a Larry Chang YouTube Live. I'm not staring at the mirror that my phone doubles as. I'm not. What I'm focused on is listener train of thought and pushing you forward. I'm doing listener and YouTube audience train of thought as I'm pressing and pressuring you and catalyzing you to do one small thing different. That's why my comedy sessions are so funny, which is why I'll tell this joke again. So, mirror, mirror on the wall, whose looks maxer femme fatale? And yeah, we can workshop that comedy, but what you're getting, not losing, is breast mirror ever. The breast mirror ever is a mirror that you code. The breast, the boobs. So if you've ever been with girls, sometimes they'll look into a mirror and they'll stare at their own boobs and they'll say, how do I make my boobs look like better boobs? True story, women will do that. True story. Boobs maxing. Boobs maxing is coming up. It's like I have a pubic hair in my mouth. What are you talking about? Timing you out, buddy. Timing you out. Mirrors just show you what you want, not what's real. I don't know about that. So the reason that mirrors, basically this is mirrors in a nutshell. You want to be able to do before the mirror and after the mirror. So there's three things that'll never lie to you. That would be cameras, babies, and animals. Where a mirror, it's only lying to you because you're getting feedback too quickly. It's called third party dissonance. It's called third party perspective. This accidentally just became a PhD thesis on supermodels. Are you working the mirror correctly? Oh my god. Ew. Ew. So, cross-eyed. It's not true strabismus. Cross-eyed is where you only appear. It's where you only appear to be cross-eyed because when you're looking at a smartphone, you either look into the lens or you look at the image that your smartphone is generating. I like that. Left boob gives me advice, right boob gives you an erection. I don't even know why I read these comments. I don't even know why I read these comments. I know why I read these comments. Because I care. I'm a care bear. I care. We've been talking about mammary glands, and there's two companies that provide lifting and boob clothing. That would be Olga's and Victoria's Secret. Olga's. Olga. It's a bra company. It's called Olga. When you name your kid Olga, when you name your daughter Olga, she's gonna be hot because she's got the name of Olga. Olga's also the name of an over-the-shoulder boulder holder company. It's called Olga. Victoria's Secret. When I saw a bra, I thought to myself, this is the most amazing item of clothing ever invented. I'm not going to say that that's what stimulated me to do the unofficial Victoria's Secret fashion show, but we can do a homage. We can do a sequel to the Victoria's Secret fashion show. It would be the best music festival ever, where if you've ever been to a music festival, they're all pretty much the same. Same shows, same artists you've never heard of, same fake fans, same rabid fans, same backstage experience, just blah. And yeah, maybe I've gone to too many music festivals. Do you guys think that I have a music festival problem? Like, I could quit going at any time. I just don't want to. Here's the solution. This is going to make me go to more music festivals, which, if you're interested in festivals, there's a website that the co-founder of Nobu Hotel, Chip Connolly, has, which is called Festival 3000. So it's a list of cool music festivals around the world. So these festivals, they're super similar. But what if we created a fashion show for bras at one of these music festivals? And I'm not talking about fat boobies. I'm talking about skinny girls with big boobies. That would be a 36B. But Larry, a 36B, that's not very booby. Oh, it is if it's a full B. So, similar to inflation of prices, similar to inflation at the grocery store, there's an inflation in boob cup sizes. Don't hate the messenger, love these solutions. So these cup sizes, they're overstated. So here's an example. Oh, I'm a 36C or a 42B. Have you ever met a fat girl with very small boobies? Because she's saying that she's rocking a 42B, it's really a 42A. It's really a 42A. How demoralizing would it be? But then this is what happens on the other side of demoralization is we're honest about height. I'm very tall. We're honest about weight. I weigh a ton, 245. We're honest about what she weighs. We're honest about her cup size. We're honest about measurements. 36, 22, 36. That would be boobs, waist, hip. Boobs, waist, hip. K-shaped economy. Are we going to be in for a rip-roaring good time? Yes. Are we going to learn something? Are we going to go through a practice of comedy that's inside baseball? What is K comedy? What is a K economy? K is in kilo. A K economy is where there are two economies. K-shaped recovery is where one part of the economy goes to hell and the other part of the economy becomes amazing. That's the K. It's technically not a K because it's specifically a lambda, because it's an economy. It's going up and to the right. Then it becomes bad. One part goes down and the other part goes up. So if you look at it, it's a lambda. It looks like an L, a Greek lambda, where it forks. One economy becomes the best economy ever. The other economy is the depression that we're in. That's a hidden depression. That's why in the 1920s, it was called the best of times, the worst of times. How is this going to be funny? Well, we're going to, one, enjoy each other's company, and two, we're going to make a ton of jokes that are at the benefit of the chosen, which is some ethnicities do better in an economy that's going in two simultaneous directions. K-shaped economy, K-shaped recovery, K-shaped comedy. Best of times, worst of times, how can we go in two directions at the same time? This is how. It turns out some of the Instagram smack that people talk, it's not fake, because some of that Instagram wealth is actually real. This is what happens when money gets printed and then politicians have their friends stand closer to the money printer. K-shaped economy, K-shaped recovery is the Cantillon effect, no K. It's Cantillon with a C. And what that is the net effect of when new money gets printed, people that stand closer to the money printer, we benefit. So then the question I ask people is, why is your networking not done by sidling up to the person standing closest to the money printer? That's what we're working on. Ditto us saying, what's up, Hassan Dax? I'm saying this is what's up, is K, and the letter K and K-shaped jokes that are insightful. Why? Because K is realizing that there's two economies that exist simultaneously. It's worst of times for the secret war against the middle class, and then making the best of times reenacted from the 1920s. Best of times, worst of times. That's how you can take that expensive of a ride on the Titanic, where what happens on the Titanic? They're are people able to spend a year's worth of wages for one boat trip. Thank you for reiterating the fact that I'm dropping facts. Luke Wallace, good to hang out with you. K-shaped economy, the joke, get ready for it, switching teams. The joke of switching teams is typically for when us heterosexuals like a guy so much that we're then saying, hey, you like that guy Larry Chang so much, are you thinking about switching teams? Ha ha ha, you're going gay for Larry Chang. That's switching teams. Switching teams of, I used to be a New York Yankees fan, and now I am a Seattle Mariners fan because that's just the fan base. Switching teams in joining a bandwagon. This is K-comedy explained why. Because switching teams is what we as homosexual people used to do. Yes, I'm a lesbian. Where we would need to play pretend as a heterosexual. Switching teams is actually incredibly powerful. An example of switching teams is if you had a friend in college or in high school, if you didn't go to college, do student athletic work. Being a student athlete in high school, okay, understandable. Being a student athlete in college is incomprehensible. Why? Because the students that you're in class with, they can't believe you're on the football team because engineering is so time consuming. The athletes, they can't believe that you're in engineering because being an athlete is all consuming. That's joining two teams simultaneously. Where's the payoff for you in your patience with semi-technical content because you stepped into K-comedy? Here's the payoff. Being on two teams is going to be what's required if we're going to thrive in this crazy, fudged up world that we call October 17, 2025. Craziness one. Why is there a war against the middle class? Craziness two. Why are some people making billions and billions and billions of dollars? They're not even good at sports, right? Because there's a influx of people that are starting to notice and question things that are seemingly unfair. Why is this athlete getting paid $350 million? Is it just bread and circus? Well, it turns out that there's an economy that's in sequence to 42 jokes that I will tell you one joke at a time. We're almost done with switching teams as a joke. Because you can simultaneously cheer for two teams. Going back to the baseball analogy, it was cheering for the Yankees and cheering for the Mariners. Why? Because, my Yankees were eliminated. How does this apply to us in an economy? We can cheer for the Chinese person who's 6'5", good at sports, but not very popular on YouTube, but has just a little too much confidence. Are you going to cheer for me because I am here to cheer for you? Because doing some quick math with my Chinese cowboy hat, there are 5 people watching this video, and X number watching on Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. Of those people, only 2 people liked, okay, now 3 people liked this video. I'm only at 3/5 popularity. This is switching teams where can you cheer for a person who's obnoxiously wealthy? Can you cheer for a person that's currently on your team? So I'm literally eating my own advice, consuming my own dog food, simultaneously being on 2 teams. Team douchebag rich guy who just went to a investment banking conference that helped me print money, and YouTube, where my channel is not monetized and you can't quite figure out how I'm making money here on YouTube. That's me switching teams. That's K-shaped jokes within a K-shaped economy, within inside jokes that helped if you last listened to my last video. Are you guys confused? So much to digest from your guys' comments. Let's go 2 more jokes into it, and I'll try to incorporate your comments with my script. So I'm going to simultaneously answer your sequitur, dovetailed comments within my script. Do you like that? I love it. Which is, since post-COVID, I said F taxes. Fake wealthy, real wealthy. Fake set of IRS filings, real set of IRS filings. There's one set of rules, but there's 2 schools of thought when it comes to economic participation, which is, do you want to seem rich to the IRS? No, you don't. Because there's one set of rules, and people that are in the losers bracket, they're going to say, tax the rich, eat the rich. But rich people, they read tax law and they just come up with some creative interpretation, and then they financially engineer. This is why taxing rich people is like trying to shoot with a bow and arrow a kangaroo while you're in a helicopter. It's a moving target while you're moving, which is why during World War I, in a tank artillery coaches would say, when your tank is moving, do not shoot at another moving tank. Think about what you're saying. You're saying during tank warfare, I need to park my tank so that way I can then shoot another tank. This is what would be good if everybody adhered to one set of economic rules, which is not K-shaped. It's just one set of rules. This is why when someone said, oh, are you making a play on sorority? So if one set of rules were to be consistent, lower rung people wouldn't get demoralized. But that's not what's going on right now. There are two sets of rules, which are one set of rules for rich people, another set of rules for middle class people. When there are two sets of rules, people get demoralized. Am I here to demoralize you? I am not. I'm here to make jokes and make you laugh your way towards money. And I wince because I don't want you to think you are going to make $200, $300, or $800 by paying me money. I wince because new people are going to think, oh, this is a scam. I don't care about new people, and I don't care about new subscribers. I mean, it hurts me a little bit, but that's why we're playing within two sets of rules. Back on track while I'm infusing your comments back into my script. It's like freestyling, but what it is integration. The topic and the title is K-shaped economy. K-shaped comedy, K-shaped economy. There's a certain ethnicity that's really, really good at being the chosen people, which is, wait a minute, every communist has been Jewish, and why are Jewish people also really so good at capitalism? That's the joke of K-shaped comedy, where the volatility, that's engineered in. And if this is your first rodeo, you're gonna get fucked. If this is your first fiat collapse, you're going to get screwed. If this is the first time you've seen money die, you're going to get pulled in to always being a step behind. What do I mean by always a step behind? I mean, you're going to see news and you're going to be like, oh my God, that's so messed up. That's why K-comedy is with me, Larry Chang, where I will guide you for free via a bunch of milestones, guideposts, and this video, which you will be able to watch 2 times, because I will post the secret link on my website, Duck9. Why? Because after you've watched this video, it will be dark on YouTube. You can't hide my video, YouTube, when I'm the guy hiding my video, right? You can't demonetize me because I don't make money via YouTube making me money. So I'm hiding my video so that way YouTube cannot later hide my video. Why is YouTube gonna hide my video? Because these are awesome truths that are somehow scandalous because 1, money's dying. 2, fiat fake money, it dies every time it's been tried. The chosen people are able to benefit from volatility. As a JBA, a Jedi in Business Administration, I'm doing something within Hollywood that is comedy. Ever wonder why the best comedians are Jewish? because as a Jewish person myself, I'm good at comedy at the highest and lowest levels, which is this. Switching teams. You didn't know that I was Jewish. Where, am I an honorary white person? Let's hope so. Am I an honorary black person? You've seen me play basketball. You've heard the stories. Switching teams. Whose team am I on? Why do you feel disconnected from me even though I've helped you make $600,000? That's because I am telling you my comedy. I'm telling you my team switching. I'm telling you that this is how the magic trick works. And you feel kindred with me in that you love me, but then if you've got any kind of lack of success, any kind of imperfection, you're going to be like, something's off about this guy. What's off about me is that you've never met a person like me who is so intrinsically empathetic with the fact that you're in the middle class and you're getting butt fucked, and not in the way that Sam Altman, Peter Thiel, and Sam Altman and Peter Thiel like to be ramrodded. You're getting screwed and you're pretending that it's not painful. Who's going to help you? Larry Chang. Who's going to entertain you? Larry Chang. Who's going to boil down a quad admit, quad, like a quadriplegic? In fact, not 4 limbs of mine not working. We're talking about a quad admit, a 4-way admit. Where are the 4 ways? And is this even funny? Oh, being a quad admit is hilarious. It's normally a dual admit. Dual is 2, not duel like D-U-E-L, where me and this owl are going to duel to the end. Because why duel when we can not kill each other like Aaron Burr? Quad admit, HLS, HBS, Stanford, SLS, GSB. That's a quad admit. The owl came from up my ass. Why? Because, have you heard gay people ruin everything? Well, gay people's logo is a mascotted owl. I'm like, what? Like, I used to like rainbows, right? Gay people stole that from us heterosexuals. Owls. Owls are like supposed to be for people that have sex with people under 22 years old. Half. So owl is like their thing. I don't want to know what I know, and this is Anderson Cooper to a T. This is not going off the rails. This is on rail with 4 rails. Typically, there are 2 rails with an additional tickle rail that gives you your power. That's how a train that's electric works. There's 2 rails and then a 3rd rail. This is the 4th rail. This is a quad. This is 4-layer deep comedy. Larry, I'm totally lost, but I'm definitely intrigued. Thank you for your positive attitude. We're talking about fake wealthy, and some of that fake wealth, OMFG, it's actually mother scratching real wealth. the chosen people, being able to benefit from volatility. October 15, Michael Saylor, Larry Chang. Volatility is a gift from the gods. Do you feel like volatility right now is a gift? Maybe you don't. This will benefit you. Why? Because you can actually jump from the I'm being waged war against and it feels like economically I'm losing, to the flow state of theta brainwaves. Is theta brainwaves within Jim Quick's book? Yes. Was that an Easter egg that was delivered to you after Easter? Yes. Do you see how Easter eggs are a token of a gift? So if you're Islamic or Jewish, this is how an Easter egg works. An Easter bunny, because it's fluffy and cute, buries eggs. Who am I? I am dispensing Easter eggs via 4,600 plus videos, each containing one Easter egg, to this video containing 200 Easter eggs, over 42 jokes. Larry, I'm so confused right now. I haven't heard one joke, but somehow I'm still listening and I'm fascinated out of my mind. Maybe it's because that cowboy hat, it's amazing. Well, thank you for focusing on my looks, because I'm using my hot face, aka my hot stove, and using your attention to turn it into something positive for you, which is training you as a poor person to be rich before the end of this video. Fake wealthy forgiveness. Fake wealthy re-signing up for Instagram, if even for one Freaky Friday. I know a lot of guys have deleted their Instagram. So this is what we're going to do, because I'm answering your question, which is, can a poor person become a rich person? Fuck. I already pinned it. I almost unpinned the message, because pinning it twice would be unpinning the message, which I will actually do. Unpin and then repin. This is best of times, worst of times. Is I'm switching from lesbian woman to Chinese heterosexual back to lesbian woman, where my pronouns are she, he, she, he, she, he, she, he, she, he, which is why I ran the Silicon Valley Gay Mafia, but that's not a side quest. It is answering the question, can a poor person train to be a rich person? Who are poor people who train to be rich people when they had the exercise of being gay, pretending to be straight, but they're secretly gay? That would be gay people. What we're going to do is we're not going to go gay. We're going to forgive gay people for their transgressions and trespass. And we literally just prayed the gay away. Did I just pray your gay away? Let's hope so, because you're not gay. It was just some dude who violated you. Now you think you're gay, and you're going to forgive that situation, and you're going to benefit, which is I love a woman and she doesn't love me. That's okay, because you're going to find a version of her that is 5 to 7 years younger and 50 to 70 pounds lighter to get over yourself, as we go from, can a poor person become a rich person? Can a poor person train? This is the training that is required. 1, cheer for one rich person. This is how most people's brains are wired. They'll be jealous, which is why we got to get back on Instagram, even though you guys deleted your Instagram. So you're going to look at my Instagram, and then you're going to cheer for every time I'm with a 9.5 that is throwing vagina at 95 miles per hour. Why are we doing this exercise? If you can't cheer for me trying to cheer for you, you're the opposite of flow. You're stuck. Just by asking the good question, you are becoming unstuck, which is, how do I train to be a rich person? Which is, you cheer for other people that are at the destination that you want to arrive at. This is the joke, which is joke number 3, which I need to move this shit along or else I'm going to be done by 5 o'clock. Which is, fake wealthy jelly. 6'7" as a meme. Not being upset at wealthy people, not saying, oh, that Ferrari, oh, I know why Larry drives that Ferrari, it's because he's got a giant penis. What? Like, every time I hear that, I think, why are you even thinking about my penis when you're looking at my vehicle, right? Wiring your brain to cheer for yourself. It turns out we are our own worst enemy. Have you guys heard that before? Thumbs up if you think that you might be your worst enemy. Because K-shaped comedy is me. I am my number one consumer of my jokes. Why? Because my jokes are meant to maybe make you laugh. I don't give a fuck if you laugh. What my jokes are meant to do is document the genius shit that I came up with. And that's me laughing at my joke while some people try to unlike stuff. Well, this is going to get you back on liking it, which is this. K-shaped comedy is also K-shaped networking. Who are you networking with? Because if you're networking with people that have a victim mindset, you're going to have a hard time joining the inner sanctum of rich people who don't deserve wealth. Why is all of this fascinating but also infuriating? This is why. Because when I cheer for a rich person who didn't deserve the chosen people money, I now can solve their rich people problems. Let me repeat that because that was super genius. For a person that you don't cheer for, it's hard to solve their problems, and it's hard to empathize with, hey, Larry, did you know that my Lamborghini has a $650 oil change? I'm like, oh, maybe I could solve your problem. Whereas some people are like, well, maybe you shouldn't have bought that Lamborghini. That joke is hilarious on 600,000 levels, because if you hear the word Lamborghini and you're like, I hate you, then you don't see the other side of it, which is, wait a minute, oil changes are $650? That sounds like a problem. Now, I'm not saying that you should change oil on a Lamborghini. I'm saying you should look for other Lamborghini problems that are inherent to rich people. Rich people also have poor people problems, which is rich people, they can't read a book right now. The largest superhero skill from this video is crack a book, read 10 lines in a paper book, because pretty quickly you'll be able to read 100 pages in one day, making you a superhuman superpower. K-shaped comedy, Lamborghini joke finishing, which is rich people have problems everywhere. And solving a rich person problem is incredibly profitable, which is why Braun Power Cord 703-0458 rolls right off the tongue in a scary way of poor people problems. P.O. Box 105-281. Long strings of numbers, 650-283. 8008. Long strings of numbers should not intimidate you. 703-0458. When you solve one rich person's problems and you get not necessarily rich, but you get profitable. What rich people do that poor people don't do is invest in a way that is counterintuitive for a poor person. Poor people think, I need $1 million in order to make $100,000. That's literally every poor person. This is why poor people will ask VCs, hey, I got an idea. Will you lend me $1 million? Hey, I've got an idea. Will you VC invest $1 million? Hey, I have a need for money. When you need money, money will never find you. And this just got philosophical, sure, but let's get into the comedy of that, which is what you think you need, money, is not real. What you really need is to wire your brain into K-shaped comedy with these next 5 jokes, which is lambda. Every time you hear K-shaped economy, you think lambda. Why? Because it's actually incorrect. The K is incorrect. Is that going to make you $800,000? Maybe. Why? Because I heard KKK, K-shaped recovery, and then I finally was like, okay, Grok, draw me a K-shaped recovery. And then Grok draws me a lambda. OpenAI draws me a lambda. And do you see how that's hiding truth from the masses? In the same way that Roman numerals are hiding base 10 math. Base 10 is 7 plus 10 equals 17. Roman numeral math is VII plus X equals XVII. Very convoluted, but that's what Roman numerals were meant to do. In fact, if you add up the Roman numerals, 1, 5, 10, 50, 100, 500, you perfectly add it up to 666. Is that a coincidence?
No, because K-shaped comedy is very Christian. K-shaped comedy is very karmically positive, which is why this is the opposite of a 666 video, which is Satan and Lucifer wanting to confuse the fuck out of you with, oh, would you like to see boob pictures with areola? Hey, would you like to feel anger that someone's got massive wealth? So, massive wealth in Austin, Texas, F1 weekend. F1 is Formula One racing. Hotels are $1,700. During Austin's two best music festivals, hotel rooms cost less than $200. Let me repeat the math on that, because it's something that you can benefit from if you've got an attention, which is F1 weekend, Formula One. It's European money from people that are standing super close to the European money printer. Or else, where did all these European people get all this money? Hotel room, $1,700 per night, Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas, two best music festivals, $200 per night. Actually, like 130, but let's just call it 200. That's 7x higher. Why does this matter within the realm of K-shaped comedy and a K-shaped economy? Do you not see that you're living in two economies? It's an economy of F1, and it's an economy of normal people trying to go to a music festival. People aren't going, which is why ACL and South by are headed into bankruptcy again. Is that financial advice? Yes. When you've got two economies, and then now you've got the question of, as a poor person, how do you train to be a rich person? You use the repetition of, is this the first time that you've seen money die? Is this the first time that you've seen a reserve currency lose its reserve status? If this is the first time, now you're going to need to front run what the future holds, which is When Money Dies is actually a book written by Adam Ferguson. How long is it going to take for you to read Adam Ferguson's book that compresses 500 years, but let's just say 50 years? It took him maybe 10 years. How long is it going to take for you to read When Money Dies? Because that's what's happening, which is why you're going to sit through 39 more jokes that are K-shaped economy, K-shaped comedy, K-shaped economy, which is when money dies, people benefit. Specifically, the chosen people benefit every time. Why? We get blamed for making too much money. Why? Because this is not our first rodeo. Why am I getting blamed for draining 10 three-pointers in a row? Because before I shot 10 three-pointers in a row in a basketball game, I warmed up and shot 100 attempts, where I made, let's say, 60 of them. Having that repetition only happens when you write and read. When was the last time you put pen to paper? Do you journal? Many people fall short in reading and writing. And then people say, well, I've got this tool. I've got this $1,000 Android that Andy Rubin created. I have this $1,000 iPhone, which Steve Jobs created. I'm hesitating at $1,000 because how in the mother scratch is an iPhone still $1,000? I thought that it'd be $200 by now. That's the middle class getting screwed because prices are artificially high. Not because of greed, also because of greed, but because of pretending to be rich, where you get made fun of if you're not holding the newest iPhone. This is a solution, which is you don't participate in loser think. You don't participate in common thinking, which is every dollar I spend is going to be matched by a dollar that I make. That's what you have to think. What you're going to think, which is how to be rich, is what if I made $600,000 at the University of Illinois as an undergrad studying engineering, and then pretend like I never made that money. Another instance, what if I make $180 million as a University of Illinois engineering grad, and I don't buy a Porsche or a Corvette even. I just buy a used motor scooter. That's how to think, which is you disconnect money out from money in. It's not easier said than done. It's actually difficult to say. Why is it difficult to say? Because I sound like a crazy person for saying disconnect money out from money in. Why? Because no one in the history of YouTube has ever said it. It's the most basic thing in triumvirate. Triumvirate is 3, which is 1. Did you know that bankruptcy is more likely when you're making a lot of money? You think bankruptcy is when you don't have enough money, but statistically speaking, bankruptcies occur far more frequently when the money is coming in. Why? One reason. It's going to go right over your head, but this proves number 1 smartest person in Silicon Valley, blah, blah, blah. Boring, boring, boring. When sales double, what happens to the amount of money that's owed to you? When your sales double, what happens to the amount of money owed to you, aka accounts receivable? Well, when you double sales, I guess the amount of money owed to you doubles. It does not double. Receivables triple. That will help you not go bankrupt. How many people know that outside of the best of the best of the best CFOs? Nobody. That's why bankruptcy is so pervasive when the money's starting to come in. This is why I love Victoria's Secret. It's not because I want to see some chunky girl in a bra that doesn't fit and her little fupa area over her bikini, right? Like her bra and underwear, Victoria's Secret, right? The reason I like Victoria's Secret is it reminds me that Roy Raymond went bankrupt when sales skyrocketed. Did he end up liquidating his company while sales were skyrocketing and then committing suicide when his company became multi-billion? Yes, that's the cautionary tale for me to compile things that are counterintuitive. How does this benefit you? This benefits you in that there are multiple truths in the world that are counterintuitive. Let's focus on the money out with the money in, with also 0. Because when you disconnect money in from money out, you now are not in the slavery of consumerism. Consumerism, to make sure we're on the same page, is if you make $150,000 as an entry-level computer science major, congratulations on not being unemployed, you then spend $160,000 because you're white or you're black. Well, if you're black, you probably spend like $200,000, but no judgments. Yes, there are judgments, which is, let's say you make $600,000. You disconnect the money out from the money in. And if you're saying, oh, you're so racist for saying that white people act a certain way, look at how much trash gets talked in sports. This is not trash talking. This is real talking. This is real comedy. That's going to be funny when you make $600K and you don't tell anybody and you don't spend any of it. Because at F1, a room costs $1,700. You can benefit by reserving next year's room, which is October 13 through 16. I just made you $1,000. You're welcome. Because F1 people, they all book last minute. Why? Because they can't read the calendar. Lambda, Alpha, Rho, Upsilon. That spells Larry. Have we met before? Good to meet you. Lambda, Alpha, Rho, Upsilon, which is Larry. Am I two people at the same time? Because my birth name was Lawrence and my name is Larry? Yes. Lawrence is some stuck up, arrogant douchebag who is better than you at everything that you do, even though they've never bowled before or they've never played organized tennis. Oh my God, I'm good at this. That's Lawrence. Who's Larry? I don't know. We're still making them up right now. Homosexual in a closet. Before the LGBT empowerment, we as lesbians, we had to hide in a closet and say, ooh, I have special tingly feelings when a girl with big boobs walks in the room. I had to hide my lesbian tendencies. Now that LGBTQ is the default, what's happening? Heterosexual people are pretending to be gay so that way they don't get fired from CrowdStrike for bringing down the reservation system. When you're trying to succeed in a system with two sets of rules, eventually you're going to realize, oh, this transgenderism thing, this also happened in the 1920s. That's what happened during book burnings, is they weren't burning good books, they were burning weird books that were inappropriate sexual books. Why does this happen, this being confusion about sex, happen every 100 years? It coincides with when the money's dying. Because when the money's dying, the citizens get screwed. Two systems, Treasury and Federal Reserve. Those are two separate systems. Historically, Treasury hates the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve hates Treasury. Why? They're at odds with each other because their goals don't align. Who benefits from that adversarial nature? Citizens. What happens when Treasury and Central Bank merge? The citizens get screwed. Larry, that's not funny. Oh, it's about to be hilarious. Hi, Larry Ass. Hilarious. Because Mnuchin, too inside baseball? Not at all. He's the guy who is the executive producer of the Lego movie. He is the last Treasury Secretary in Trump 45. When he was announced to be Treasury Secretary, I thought, hallelujah, the bankruptcy expert, Donald Trump, is going to solve bankruptcy by running his bankruptcy attorney, Mnuchin, into running bankruptcy protocols. Did the bankruptcy and insolvency get solved? The opposite happened. That's what's going on in our world right now, where it's engineered for a hard landing, disguised as a soft landing. How do you benefit? You benefit in the full circle of the joke for homosexual in a closet, which is, let's put the noticing to why some people used to do incredibly well. That's LG financially super well off before, where a gay dude in a closet, you can almost run a fund on that, where, hey, are you a gay dude? Were you in the closet? Well, financially, you're going to be mega successful. And then it flipped, where gay dudes were incredibly useless. And then you're like, hello, what changed? And what changed was not having to succeed at the game on hard mode. What's hard mode? It's where you are, let's say, theoretically Chinese, and you don't get to go to college unless your SAT score is double everyone else's. That's playing the game on hard mode. Or the middle class. Wait a minute. So you're telling me that everything I'm good at, I gotta play the game on hard mode. But everything I'm bad at, I have to play that game on easy mode. What? And so now you see that this is a tale of two economies. It's a tale of obfuscating gravity, where maybe you don't agree with my LGBTQ, TT+, with my PhD thesis in gender studies because of my vagina whispering, which is a 9-way PhD on understanding the female brain via gender studies. Maybe you don't agree with my PhD thesis, which I am actually defending over this entire video. Let's say you don't want to offend my thesis and you're just going to try to do an end run and get me banned. But the banning is hard where this video is hidden, but the truths, they ooze out, which is K for curation. Curation is what a museum person does by saying, this belongs in a museum, this does not belong in a museum, you're now a docent. K for curation is you have to be incredibly stalwart and studious with the information that you're putting inside your brain. When you let the algorithm program you, you're now noticing that the algorithm is potentially not your friend. Remember before when we were talking about a $1,000 smartphone and a $200 AI membership? I thought smartphones were going to all be $100, and I thought everybody would have AI by now, Asian intelligence. But it turns out people somehow got dumber. And then I figured it out, is that your phone's not so smart, it's really just breaking your brain. write a stupid country song and an album to distribute that simple truth is that your phone's not so smart. It's really just breaking your brain. And then loading that up into something that you can benefit from, which is, I bet you didn't know that Pixar movie theater, movie studio, has a new movie coming out, Toy Story V, Toy Story 5. You like that shout out to Roman numerals? Toy Story V, Toy Story 5, which is a smart pad that's ruining little kids' brains. And this smart pad is everybody's device that's making people, by default, gay and retarded. K for curation, meaning once you say, similar to a Christian, which is, Lord, I am a sinful person where I am just too good at sports. Please make me less good at sports? Question mark. It's saying something similar to what Christian people say, which is, OMG, I'm actually retarded. Larry Chang, help me be less retarded. And let's jump from the loser's bracket to the winner's bracket. Am I laughing on the inside? Ginormously. Why? Because all of the yumminess of why I'm even here, it's the loser's bracket. It's winning after you lose. I don't want to see some LeBron James win when he's 25. I want to see some loser dude who is named Gromit of Wallace and Gromit, who plays for the Brewers. Like, he literally looks like Gromit the dog's friend Wallace. And he is the definition of the loser's bracket, left for dead. That's K curation, where maybe some people don't believe in you. I don't know if I believe in you right now, if I'm being honest, because if you were to be believed in, you would have texted me, you would have emailed me, you would have commented, hey, I watched your Get Your Shit Together video, and I did two things. I watched your free credit report video, and I took action. It's not about compiling knowledge. It's about execution. Sell me something you don't own. K for selling something that you don't own. You think rich people started off rich and were just born rich. Why is that? It's because we as rich people, we all lie that this same lie, which is, oh, I've always been rich. Oh, what was the first thing I did? I don't remember. This is why this content is so unique. In the same way that I was talking about disconnecting money in from money out, this is incredibly insightful, which is this. All rich people started in almost a similar way, unless you inherited the money, which is they edited some piece of turd and they messily assembled something that was slightly less of a turd. Is this an expansion on my Get Your Shit Together video? Yeah, but you don't have to watch that. Just know this. Real estate developers What was your origin story? Every real estate developer that didn't have a dad that was also a real estate developer, they edited a parking lot. This is why I have said over 50 times in 50 videos, well, maybe 80 times in 50 videos, maybe accurately 130 times over 50 videos, 50 videos, which is find a parking lot, find a dumpster, take a picture of that dumpster, text it to me. Why? Because action and making something less shitty makes you a little bit of money. And what you do with that money is you don't ask 10 stupid questions. 1, why am I doing this? 2, this doesn't scale. I mean, yeah, I made $10,000, but I can't keep doing this. 3, can you tell me the next 850 steps in totality so that way I can not do step 2? 3, where is this going? Which is an extension of the tell me every step I need to do so that way I don't do any of the steps. Stupid question number 5, which is, hey, why don't other people do this? If this is going to make money, everybody needs money. Why don't other people do this? Why don't you take any notes? Why did you only read 7 books using audiobooks last year? Larry, can I just blow you and then be your girlfriend? No. That's a dumb question. That's a pretty often asked question. Hey, I'm a hot girl wanting to blow you. Can we meet for coffee? This is my picture. The reason that's a stupid question is I already know where this is going, which is you want me to tell you 40 or 50 things that are already said in a YouTube video, and you're not even documenting what you've already done with the existing knowledge that exists. Hey, Larry, you're amazing, and I've already benefited. Knowledge-wise, not financially. Is it okay if I buy you dinner? Because I want to pick your brain. What that is number 4, but just with a little bit more money. Or the worst way, which is some psychobabble of stop saying my name. It's something gay and retarded, which is you're juxtaposing me, the helpful alpha male, with the alpha male who's not an alpha, who raped you. And then you're like all confused because your brain gets scrambled because you're about to make a breakthrough. Perfect time for a prayer. Father Lord, some of this stuff can be confusing. And to me, it's from you, which is why the Bible talks more about money than any other topic. Father Lord, thank you for the platform of energy and time where we can listen and learn from each other in a way that is incredibly Christian, which is when 2 or more are gathered in your name, you guarantee to be in our midst. Jesus, I feel your presence, and I thank you for all the athletic talent that you behooved and transferred. Maybe when you're handing out athletic talent in heaven, maybe I went through the line 8 times. Maybe you're going to make me even more athletically talented, so that way people will go back to this video and be like, oh my God, how is he 95 years old throwing 95 miles an hour with both arms? Father Lord, if you want to give me that magical talent, I'll try to steward your talent and be like, yeah, I throw this hard because one, I don't really exercise that much. Two, I am being mentored by Quinn Matthews, who's left-handed. But if I'm being honest, I think this power came from Jesus because I exercise throwing less than 5 hours per day. Brandon Beck, Tristan Beck are my right-handed pitching mentors. So Lord, if you feel the need to make me a savant when it comes to athletic ability, let me be your vessel. Lord, thank you for letting me steward all the money that I get to control temporarily, and I hope that it honors you. Father, Lord, also, thank you for the blessings of a biblioteca. Maybe libraries didn't exist when your son was walking around Jerusalem, but a mother-scratching library, it's been so helpful. And also, Father, Lord, thank you for giving me a mental discipline of tutoring all those hot girls in high school while sporting a ginormous erection, while fornicating 0.0 of those super hot females that were throwing all that vagina. Because redirecting that sexual energy, super helpful. So thank you for the angels that were nearby. That joke got me emotional because I could have fucked up. My God, this prayer is even hilarious. Father, Lord, thank you for making this prayer better than that prayer that I watched in Talladega Nights. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. My God, that prayer was mother scratching amazing. Do you feel like you got to know me better? Or did you just get to know me and be like, oh my God, you're so wrong and so right? Whew. Library, the K-shaped economy. A library, aka a biblioteca, that would be library in Spanish. Shucks, I might be fluent by the end of this video. The library is the unfortunate truth that poor ethnic people will stay ethnic and poor because the library, it's still free.
How's my sound? Left-handed. Quinn Matthews is left-handed. So, did I learn to be left-handed? You tell me. You tell me, because when we cross-train to be equal and opposite, that's similar to K-shaped comedy becoming straight one-way comedy. So when it's K-shaped comedy, you're appealing to the high end of comedy and the low end of comedy. Equal and opposite, left-handed, right-handed. Once you see that athletes and lions and cows can be left and right-handed, you're going to now say, I can't believe that a cow or a dog can be left-handed. This isn't comedy. I mean, it is, but it's meant to help you understand that a cow can be left-handed. So when you ascertain that these truths are hilarious, because Larry, how do you know that a cow is left-handed? I know a cow is left-handed because the arm or the hoof, the right hoof is more valuable than the left hoof because a cow uses their right hoof 90% of the time because of cows. 90% of cows are right-handed. If that statistic doesn't surprise you, then you're not even thinking, because what the F? How are 90% of cows right-handed? Why are 90% of humans right-handed? Are 90% of dogs also right-handed? Nature or nurture? Just because you're born right-handed, does that mean you can stay left-handed? So this is not me with a gaydar, because I'm not going to argue about whether or not people are born gay or made gay, but twist my arm, I'm going to tell you about it, which is very, 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 very few people are born gay. Whereas there's an entire country the size of New Jersey, 1 in 4 identify as a homosexual. If you're not good at math, that's 25%. So when an entire country is batting 250, there's something in the water. There is something in the family. There is something that is causing the people to be soft Y gay, which is gay. Soft Y. So you can try to adopt me into your death cult. You can try to draft me into your gay mafia. You can even say, hey, Larry, what are you doing at this gay mafia party? Are you even gay? There's no way you're gay. Well, I hear problems and I'm going to solve problems. This is comedy with a K, with a little bit of radar. You can't knock this radar out. You can't knock this radar out, because the radar that we're looking for is childhood trauma. Where did the trauma come from? You know where it came from. That's your origin story that you refuse to tell. How do I know about these traumas? Because 2 females who are significantly older than me, they're the ones who traumatized me. But female to male groypers is different from male to male touching. Larry, you're hilarious. Thank you. Because I'm not here to just be funny. I'm here to talk about stuff that they, well, now do teach you in school. But this is why they drag teachers in to teach school for show and tell, because they're trying to indoctrinate you. They're trying to get you curious with just a tip. Are you a little bit curious as to who Larry Chang is? Cool. Cool. Because I'm curious to know who you guys are. I'm curious to know who you guys are. Testosterone maxing. How's your testosterone level? Is it kind of low? Is the government trying to steal your testosterone? Are foreign governments trying to steal your testosterone? Is the food supply trying to steal your manhood? Do you believe that seed oils cause you to have fewer seeds? Larry, are you laughing at your own jokes? Is there a law against that? Because it's kind of funny that seed oils are a synthetic hexane byproduct that causes your giggleberries and your twig to no longer berry and no longer be a switch. Seed oils are bad. Testosterone maxing. What we're hinting at is chemical castration. Full on chemical castration is what happens when your brain connects to the psychological stimulants that are being distributed by the pharmaceutical complex. Has this comedy been too complex? Has this comedy hit just the right spot? Has this comedy caused you to say, hey, when are you going to launch your video called The Vagina Dialogues? Problem, vagina monologuing. Problem, vagina whispering. Problem. Maybe we'll solve it in a future Larry Chang set of stand-up comedy. A new set of jokes. Am I teasing future debuts? Maybe. Do you like being teased? In the comments, let me know what resonated with you with this content that occurred on Friday, March 13th.